So we're on to day 5, and this time round we're going to do a satin stitch tree with some beads in. So first up, I'm just going to, oops, I'm stuck, I'm already stuck. Okay, just start myself off. So I'm going to go around the outside of my tree with a split stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go start in the corner and just do quite biggish stitches, because you do want to get around this and not, it won't be seen, so it's not too imperative that you do tiny stitches that are all in the same size. This is just to give it a little bit of what I'd call bounce. A little bit of depth, a little bit of cushioning. You can do a back stitch, but the only problem with doing a back stitch around it is that you will have, like, where your stitches meet, you'll have a little dip. So your stitch will be there, and you'll have this little dip there. So your satin stitch will go down. So split stitch is always better. That stitch might have been a little bit big actually. Oops, don't want to split. That's it. Corner. I'm going to come back on myself and split that one, just because you might come up through and then your thread's coming back out again. Don't always have to outline a satin stitch, but I like to give it a little bit more cushioning, and I like to see the edges, and it does sort of hide the stitches where they butt up. It hides the fabric behind, so if your stitches are a little bit off and not so close together, you won't see it on these edges. Oops. Might be a bit big, that one. Because I'm going across quite a big expanse, I'll show you what to do in this a little bit. Doesn't want to, there we go. song in my head, and it seems that every time I get in the car it's on the radio. I don't know who it's by, but it's the vampire. I don't really know, but is it somebody Rodriguez, is it? Corners. Try and keep corners nice and sharp on a satin stitch as well if you've got corners, especially with these Christmas trees. You don't want them to look fuzzy. I'm hoping I'm going to get all the way around with this bit of thread and not have to get started another one. As I say, this doesn't have to be too neat because you're going to cover it over. So don't worry too much. Don't want to split. Come on, come on. It does not want. There we go. It's not split, is it? We are going to make it. This sugar is wonderful. One last one, and we can get rid of the waste knot. So in here, because I want to have it padded out, I'm going to make some big-ish stitches so the thread doesn't settle down in the centre, so it doesn't sag. Doesn't matter how you do these. I'm sure there's somebody out there going to say, well, you don't do them that way, but it's not really going to matter. If you're only doing a small expanse, you wouldn't need to do this. It's just I like to give your stitch a little bit of something else to sit up on. Do you know what, that's quite cute as it is. I'm just going to come down. You won't see these stitches, so don't worry about them not being too neat. Just put another one in there, and then I'm going to change my thread, cut that waist knot off. Oh, I don't want to be cut off. See if I come that end. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll come back because I'm going to thread up some threads. So On your needle you will want to use 3 strands of stranded cotton if that's what you're using. Right, so I'm just going to do I'm going to start somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to do a waist knot, and your stitches don't need to be too small. For this. Okay, so for a satin stitch I'm going to come up on the outside really close to where I've stitched. Now you can go straight across if you want, but I'm coming down at a bit of an angle, and I always start in the middle somewhere and work my way out. Right, where's my... just going to get that. Then you come back up where you went down. Back across. And you're just going to work your way backwards and forwards across your area. This is where these laying tools come into their own. Gertrude here. Don't want to sew that in. I don't want it to be twisted. Just there we go. Try not to pull too tight. Bit of a stroke and a poke. Keep going. Side of my... If you come up too close to your where you went down, you'll find that you'll just undo the stitch. So I'm going to keep on going all the way to the top. Then once I've done that, I'll come back up in and start coming back down. If you don't have one of these laying tools, a small knitting needle will work, or a stiletto, I think they're called, the end of a paintbrush. It just flattens out your thread. Instead of it being twisted around. Okay. I'm going to carry on, and then I will pick you back up again when I've got to the end and we've filled in. Okay, I don't think I was recording putting the beads in, so I'll start again as such. So just going to come up through your fabric, through your stitches, and rather than, I don't know whether I'm repeating myself, but I'm just going to try to leave yourself quite a bit of thread, or not quite a bit, enough thread for your bead to lay down rather than stand up with the hole facing upwards. A bit of embroidery, pink. Because if you put too little a thread on, the hole will stand up and that's all you'll see. You won't see the actual bead. I am randomly putting these in, so there's no rhyme or reason as such. Put a little one in there. Just going to put a little stitch in so it doesn't unravel. Put myself a little selection on one of those sticky mats. Now I can't get them off it. Because they were pinging everywhere, weren't they? I always think putting beads on is quite therapeutic, to be fair, because I always think it's like the last bit, pretty bit. Looking for something that could resemble a kind of star, but without going on search. I don't know. Let's have a look. What have we got? Perhaps something like that. Don't know. What about it? A sequin with a bead in. So if you put a sequin in, another bead, and then go back down the whole of the sequin, you'll find you don't have to go over the edge of the sequin. There we go. So what day are we on? Day 5 is completed. So happy stitching, and I'll see you again tomorrow for day 6.